Daddy's garden is.
Bud, it's been a while since you've been in a video, bud.
No, it's only been like a week.
Yeah, it's been a little while. So tonight we are going to try to pot up some seedlings here. As you can see, most everything is sprouted. Even the peppers are starting to come up. I was a little concerned about this new variety from Baker Creek called Corn de Chevre.
But it started sprouting.
But there are little sprouts starting to, and I kind of dug around. There's others that they're in the process of coming up. They just haven't broken through the ground yet. But at least 4 or 5 sprouts I see here. As you can see, though, some of these other ones real prolific, like the San Marzanos.
And Chadwick
these are seeds we saved from this last year. Chadwick cherry. A lot of the cherry varieties came up right away, followed by some of the smaller tomato varieties, and then the larger ones have come up, like the True Black Brandywine, Pink Brandywine, Dester is finally starting to come up.
You were concerned that
I was a little. I was very concerned, yeah.
Because those are your second favorite tomato.
Yes. So tonight, again, we want to get some of these, go through a couple of these containers. We want to pick our best sprouts. We want to do this now rather than later because there's so many in here that they're going to get root bound if we let them go too much longer. Right now, and we'll be surprised. I think the rootstock on some of these is going to be several inches long. So it's going to be kind of surprising to get in here, but we want to get them picked out, figure out which ones, and then we're going to do one per little cell here. These are nice.
Which ones are we going to save later, like these? That they have.
We'll do what we can do in about 45 minutes or so. Okay. We also have our solo cups from this past year that's got holes drilled, so we got plenty of those. Were there roots coming out of the bottom? Yeah, you can already see there's roots coming out of the bottom of that.
5.
So when we get these potted up, we're going to do one per pot. We got several of these quad trays. I've got a couple of these, and then we've got solo cups to do the rest. We're going to focus on the tomatoes first. We might be able to get tomatoes done tonight.
And maybe peppers tomorrow.
Yeah. We're going to do enough to where we'll have enough to give some away, and then plenty for our own garden. But I want to take you along and show you what we're doing first before we get into this. All right, so one of the things that we need to do before we get into this is we need to prep our potting mix. So I've still got over a half brick of this Pro Mix, so we're going to get a good chunk of this out using the soil tool down there on the floor, bud. We're going to dig some of this out. Once we get a good chunk out, I'm going to get the garden hoe. We're going to break this up and we're going to add some water, probably about 2 gallons of water to this to moisten it up. And then we're going to start filling pots for indoor solo cups. Get that ready, and then we're going to take our dibber and make our holes. Again, the goal is to get a good chunk of the tomatoes done tonight, and then focus on the peppers later this week. So we'll get this going here real quick. All right, so Bud is breaking up the larger chunks. I've got the hoe here.
Why do we want to break up the chunks?
Well, so that when we pour the water in, it's going to be easier to mix. So you kind of want to break this up pretty good. It doesn't have to be perfect, but I've still got plenty of Pro Mix left. This is just a little section of that block.
So if we have time and there's none left, we might add a little more.
Might. Why don't you go and pour the water in?
All of it?
Yeah, we're probably going to need more water than that, but go ahead and pour it in. Yeah, go ahead and get some more. I was going to soak them pretty quick, so as if we didn't really do anything. Now I'm going to throw in some worm castings as well, just so there's a little bit of a nutrient source in there. I mean, it's not a significant nutrient source, but we have them, so I might as well use them. And we'll get that all mixed together as well, and then we'll start filling our pots.
That's good.
Yeah, that's a little better. It's starting to plump up a little bit. There's still a lot of dry.
So I might get more water.
I would go and get another bucket.
Why do you need need so much water?
Because this mix is very dry and it absorbs a lot of water. We don't want it to be like sopping wet, but we want it to be moist enough that we're not going to have to water it a ton. That's close. Alright, so he's got his third little half bucket. Go ahead and pour it all in. Well, if we put too much in, we can always add more Pro Mix. Yeah.
Whoa, look at all the... What is this white?
That's perlite.
What is it good for?
It helps keep the Pro Mix broken up so it doesn't... It helps keep it loose, basically. Yeah, we're going to want to add a little more Pro Mix, I think. Now it's maybe a little too damp.
Yeah, it can... The way you know is it can clump up, but then you can also break.
We'll see, this might be good enough. See how muddy it is in there?
That's why we want to get it.
Yeah, we want to... I think we want to add a little bit more in there. Anyway, we'll get that mixed and then we'll start filling cups. Alright, so Ruthie wandered down.
He hasn't been in a video for a
Yeah,
long
it's been a
time.
little while. So we got our mix. I've got a spare piece of drywall. I got the kids working on each side of this wheelbarrow. And they're basically filling up the containers.
And then you can just...
Yeah, there you go. They're going to fill up these containers, and then we're going to do another tray and get it filled up, so on and so forth. Then we're going to start potting things up. Should be pretty exciting.
Yeah.
Loving that. Now, while the kids are doing the manual labor here, just again kind of explain what we're doing, potting these up. We want to do that now as opposed to later because they're just going to continue to grow, get root bound. They've got their seed leaves out, so they need nutrients at this point. And so we want to make sure that we're not holding them back at all. Being in this environment and these little containers like this are having to compete for nutrients. We want them to have their own container so they grow nice and healthy. You guys done with that tray?
Yep.
Yes.
Alright, let's start another one. Alright, so the kids are topping off this tray and I got them using the Solo cup to tamp down the potting mix to make sure it's got good contact with the bottom of these containers, because if it doesn't, it's not going to wick up water as effectively. It's just not going to be good. So we don't have to like pack them so tight that it splits the container, but we need to make sure, you know what I'm saying, everything.
That's
They
happening.
need to be level, as level as you can get them. That's
This
probably,
one
that's,
has too much, actually.
It's okay.
Well,
yeah,
don't
if it's got too much, go ahead and rake it back into one that doesn't have
Yeah, kind of.
enough, okay? That's good. Alright. Go ahead and put that tray over and we'll start this one.
No, use this one.
Sometimes the more hands you have, the lighter the work becomes. You know, if I was doing all this by myself, it would take a long time. It wouldn't be as fun either. But given the amount of plants that we're going to be doing, it's nice to have the help. So I'm glad to, grateful that the kids are helping, that they seem to be enjoying it. It's good for kids to have something constructive to do. It's easy for them to just kind of lay around and do nothing, watch TV, get on a smartphone or tablet or computer, or just kind of waste time, right? Instead of redeeming the time and doing something constructive that ultimately is going to benefit the family later this summer, and other friends that we have that are wanting to get into gardening this year. The other thing I'm hoping to do this year is focus a little bit more on the Mittleider gardening method. I don't know, kind of assled around in the garden, doing different things, and kind of did a hybrid approach the last 2 years where I used some of the principles of the Mittleider gardening method, and used the weekly feed, but just kind of didn't follow it to a T for various reasons. I want to try to incorporate more of that this year. I did recently get the updated manual that's a lot more illustrated. It's a searchable PDF. I think it was like $17-18 from the growfood.org or growfood.com, whatever it is, the Mittleider site. But it's an interesting gardening method. It combines, the principles of soil-based gardening and hydroponics, so that you kind of get the best of both worlds. It was a gardening method that's kind of designed for, it's used all over the world, but basically used it in developing countries so that they could grow a lot of food in a small space, do things more efficiently, not use as much water, try to target the water and nutrients to the plants. Ideally, if you can build the soil and you can get the tap into the soil food web and the nutrient cycle and get all that down pat, that's ideal. But that can be difficult to manage, and that's more of a long-term endeavor. The other issue that I'm facing, as far as getting older, and just not the strapping young lad I used to be, gardening can be a lot of work, and it's easy to jack up your back, and if you've got any kind of like arthritis or joint problems, or just problems associated with getting older, it can be difficult to maintain a large space. So one of the things with the Mittleider method, particularly if you have the sand sawdust beds, raised beds, which I may try to build one of those this year, is that you can control weeds. So weed control is a biggie. I don't know. So anyway, I'm gonna be reading up on that a little bit more. Maybe try to incorporate a few, more of that method to what we're doing, because really the goal is to produce nutritious food and not it be this super costly or labor intensive endeavor, but try to maximize our time and effort and resources and get the biggest bang for the buck, and really get a return on the investment in all of this too. So now it looks like the kids are working on cups, so we better get back and see what they're doing here. All right, so the kids are filling the solo cups now. We got over here all the leftovers from the other year that already got the pre-drilled holes and everything. They're still in good shape. So what I'm having Ruthie do is rip off the painter's tape that had the old labels on them. I'm having Bud fill these up, and we should be able to get 18 cups in here, similar to what the other cells that we have in these two trays here that they finished. Should be able to get 18.
Yeah.
I'm thinking it would be about 18.
Or 15 or something.
Well, we're going to try for 18, see what happens. Anyway, once they get those going, we may work on labeling them once we figure out what varieties we're going to transplant. I've got 5 of these trays, so we'll try to do probably at least 5 tonight. The other challenge we're facing with the space here is that I don't have enough room to get all my trays underneath grow lights. So I could do at least 4, maybe 5. And if I put them lengthwise this way, I got to do 4 where I've got them like this and like that, or I could do probably 5. If I want them this way, and they're still going to get the light. And then I've got a space over here where I could get 5 more, so if I move the worm bin and kind of clean up this area here. So you probably accommodate 10 trays in the grow room. So if the weather, or when the weather improves, we're going to want to move this stuff out to the greenhouse, out of Dad's house, which is going to put a little burden on him as far as kind of keeping tabs on things. Hopefully the weather's going to cooperate. It's just like today, it started raining at about 1 o'clock, 12 noon sprinkling, 1 o'clock on till even 8 o'clock at night. It's just been a steady drizzle downpour, and it's in the 50s. Upper 40s, something like that. It's not ideal weather for this warm weather stuff. Last year we made a mistake. We got all this stuff potted up, and in that night I took them over to the greenhouse, and we didn't fire up the heater. We didn't think it was going to get that cold, and it got down in like the 40s, and it was just too much shock on the seedlings between the cold temperature and transplant shock. I lost over half of them. I don't want to make that mistake again this year, so we'll see what we can do. Try to get this stuff potted up tonight. But I think what I'm going to try to do now, it looks like they can get 18 cups in the tray, and then I've got the 2 trays there with the cells. I'm going to divide it up, or we'll do 9 plants of each variety, so I basically double.
We could fit 17.
17, not 18? That's weird. We'll take a look at that. But divide it up and to where half the tray is one variety, half the tray another. So I've got 9 plants of each one. So again, we've got plenty that we could give away to friends. We got plenty to choose from as well, in case, you know, whatever. So as soon as they get these set up, we'll start labeling them, and then we'll use the dibber to make our holes.
We have to fill these too?
Yeah, we'll try to get those. Alright, so while the kids finish up prepping some trays, I'm going to go ahead and start breaking open these containers, you know, getting the tomatoes out, and then kind of seeing what I've got in terms of seedlings. We can kind of take a look at those and then pick which ones we're going to transplant. Again, we're going to do hopefully 9 plants per variety, so we got plenty to choose from when it comes time to actually put them out in the garden. Alright, so I got my dibber here. I'm just going to go ahead and make my hole. I'll go ahead and make it deep. With the Pro Mix being moist, it's pretty easy to make this hole without everything collapsing in on itself. Alright, so that's done. Let's start with the one that's struggling a little bit, Duster. There's enough of these that are up. I've got some stuff to choose from. You kind of notice that some of these seedlings just didn't make it real well for whatever reason, and then there's others that are pretty decent there. Alright, so I got my I guess you call it the wedgie. It's just a little tent stake that I've kind of bent out to make a scoop on this end. It's got a pointing end on the other. I'm just going to kind of go in and loosen this stuff up and dig this out a little bit. Let's see what we're dealing with. I don't know how healthy, that didn't look super healthy really, because you look at the roots. There should be more roots in that.
You did.
What happened? Did you make your brother mad?
Yeah, he stormed upstairs. I don't know if the microphone can pick it up, but you can probably hear it at door slam.
Alright, so, you know, I like the kids helping me and stuff, but a lot of times just ignorant stuff happens, right? And so, my daughter here just threw potty mix on my son's face. Which, personally, I think that's hilarious, but that's not something you should have done, right?
Yeah. Sorry.
So why did you do that?
Because I'm very juvenile.
You're very juvenile. Yeah, okay. Well, why don't you find your brother and apologize to him? Maybe he'd be willing to come back down and help us out.
Okay.
Alright. Yeah, so anyway, it can be a challenge getting your kids to work together, keeping them focused on a task at hand. A lot of times you have to be very specific, give them good instructions, and then let them kind of go at it a bit. A lot of times even with that, they get, I don't know, bored, they get ignorant idea in their head, and they decide to mess with each other, and then you kind of have to step in and referee that and all that. My son, he's 9, going to be 10 this year, and it's been difficult for him here lately. We took away all his media. He's playing Nintendo a lot. He had a little tablet with a screen, little tablet we shared, but he'd play games on it. And it got to the point where he was like, oh, that's all he wanted to do, and kept begging us to be on it and this, that, and the other. And, you know, we recognize it's not good, so we just cut him off. he's not having any kind of media time right now, and it's kind of driving him. He's going through withdrawal, but you know, it's for the best. You know, we don't want a couch potato. We don't want him being 30 years old, sitting on our couch because he can't hold down a job and he's playing video games, you know, and living in our basement. You know, that's no good, right, Ruthie? All right, Ruthie, why don't you take my dibber here and you can start making holes in those cups. Just kind of go down the middle like you see here. Okay.
Like this?
Yeah, go slow though. Go slow to go fast.
Okay. Okay.
Otherwise, you're gonna have to do it all over again, right? You can use both hands. Just drive it down in there, spin it around, and then take it out slowly so it doesn't collapse in on itself. Okay. I've already done this tray job. I'm talking about the trays out there.
Oh.
All right. So where were we? Oh yeah, we were talking about the seedlings here. All right, you ready to get to work again, bud?
Yeah.
All right, get to work. All right, bud. So you're gonna do those holes there.
Yeah,
Meanwhile, Ruthie, I want you to make labels. You can put your, like you're doing there, gonna get your strips. Then you're gonna clean off the cups. Each cup, you're gonna put the strip on each cup.
Yep.
And then you're gonna write on each cup.
Okay.
Sound good? All right. All right. So we're looking at these seedlings here, and like I said, the roots aren't real developed on these yet. At least these two. And maybe that's just how they're gonna be. But I'm used to seeing a lot more root action on here, and the fact that these were kind of slow to come up tells me that we might have an issue with these seeds. Just as a comparison, let's see what the San Marzano looks like. Okay, already market difference. Look at all those roots there. Now, given there's a lot more plants here, but if I crumple this up, like just kind of gently massage the Pro Mix away from this, and compare to Dester. There's Dester, there's San Marzano. It's got a big root ball down here. This is a lot healthier than this one, even though the top growth looks the same. So anyway, we're gonna work at this, try to get our tomatoes potted up, and go from there. So let's go on to the next step here. All right, so I'm teaching the kids a little bit about transplanting these seedlings. We use our little tool to gently dig them out, and then once you get your clumps out, you just kind of massage this root ball a little bit, and it kind of breaks apart, and then you grab, you know, the outermost by the leaf, and you can kind of gently pull it away from the bunch. Now this isn't really a good one. You can see how it's just got the one little root, and that's it. Compared to
That's okay.
this one that's got several tendrils. But it's important you want to grab it by the leaf and not the stem, because you can crush the stem. They're still pretty fragile. One thing you'll notice too on these, since it's been colder, there's a lot of purple on these leaves, at least the underside. And that's an indication that the plants are having difficulty pulling up phosphorus, because it has been so cold. You know, growing's been 50, 60 degrees, so even under the heat mat, they're still struggling a little bit. And I noticed that, I mean, typically in the spring, really until May, later May, when it starts to warm up, it's going to be like this. But once it starts heating up, the circulation system of the plant, it works better to cycle nutrients through, and it can pull up the phosphorus, and it will green up. It'll do just fine. We're doing the San Marzanos right now because that's a sauce tomato, and they were really like those last year. They were really prolific towards the end of the season, along with aromas. So we're doing, I think, 24 plants. I'll have a full row of like paste tomatoes. We're trying a new variety of this Italian paste I got from Uncle John. he gave me a tomato that was pretty ripe. I let it just ripen completely till it was almost rotting or was starting to go bad, and then I harvested the seeds. And so this is what we got from it so far. I'm going to try 9 plants of that this year.
Which one is this?
This is the San Marzano bed. So I get her started on this, and we get Bud started on another variety. Once she gets these separated out, Ruthie, I'll show you what you're going to do. Here, I'll just show you real quick. You're going to grab it by the little leaf here. See how I'm doing this?
Mm-hmm.
And you're going to guide it down the hole. Now, I may not go directly in, but if you get it like that, just gently take your finger and just gently tuck it in.
Gently glide it.
Gently, get into the spot where we want to plant, right? All the way to the base.
Okay.
Like to where there's no stem, because that stem will turn, it'll put out little hairs that will morph into roots, which is what we want.
And then just...
So get it down as far as you can, and then you're gently going to push. So you're not going to stab at it, you'll break the stem, but kind of pack it in there.
Okay.
And you're good to go, okay? Pick only the ones that have, like, good roots, like this.
Like this?
Yep, that's a good one. And you might have to break that clump, like just kind of gently massage that clump out so it's more of a straight rootstock. Grab it by the leaf,
Okay.
And then you're going to just kind of nudge it in all the way. And just kind of push the ground into it. And make sure it's kind of straight up. Yep. Let's see what Bud's doing. Alright, so we're moving right along here. We got quite a few varieties. We got a couple more to pot up. We're doing, 7, 8, 9 of each variety. Now, these cups, I put a little paper towel in here to keep the potting mix from going through, but it's starting to turn a little anaerobic, which means it's a little too wet because there's a little bit of a stink to it. So again, it's good that we're kind of transplanting these out, and I'll just have to kind of watch that as we are potting things up. Right, Ben? So we'll go ahead and finish this up real quick. In the future, we probably won't put that paper towel in the bottom. We'll just live with stuff leaching out just so there's better drainage because it's holding too much moisture. Alright, so we're just about done potting up the tomatoes, which is pretty amazing. We've got, I think, 6 trays with about 18 plants in each one.
And it is 11:15 on a school night.
Good thing you're homeschooled. Yeah, loving that. So we've got plenty of leftovers. These tripods. We've got plenty of leftovers. These are the blueberries and cream. And we've got, by and large, a lot of healthy plants. These are the leftover mortgage lifters. Oh, we had a bunch. I mean, I probably 3 times the amount of seedlings that we actually needed. I'm tempted to pot all these. These are the terracotta seedlings. These are the ones that were like $5 from Baker Creek because it was like a new variety they were offering. It's kind of a rare variety. I've got 9, I think 8 or 9 of those potted up right now. We'll go out to the garage. I'll show you those trays real quick. So there's another couple. This kind of worked out having this extra drywall and setting up a little makeshift potting bench here so that we could kind of get twice the amount of work done. Got a little shop light going, floodlight. Tree down here. So what we're going to try to do now is, now that everything's potted up, we're going to clean up the grow room. We're going to make some space, try to get all the trays underneath lights. I guess we don't have to do that tonight. What I could do is just, we could stack some trays on this makeshift potting bench and get some stuff there and just mess with it tomorrow. What do you think? You want to do it tomorrow? Yeah, I think we're going to mess with it tomorrow. It's getting late, so... don't really need to water these in because the grow mix is damp. I don't want to overwater them, but we definitely want to give them a shot of nitrogen to help them a little bit, and then it'll probably take them a couple days to get used to everything, and then we'll try to move them out to the greenhouse maybe next weekend. What do you think? And see what Grandpa can do with them. So I guess that's it for now. Until next time. Happy gardening. Bye. Well, it took us a couple hours, but we got all the tomatoes potted up. There's at least 18 in each tray, right, Ruthie? Yeah. And there's 6 trays. And we'll get some peppers. We're going to try to do them maybe another night. Once these are adjusted and we get them used to the temps and stuff, we're going to move them outdoors to the greenhouse over at Dad's house. Kind of go from there. Fun times.